As an entrepreneur, it can feel like you have to do and be all the things to everyone. And needless to say, that's extremely exhausting. But don't worry, in today's video, I'm going to talk about some simple strategies you can begin to incorporate to ensure that you find more balance and less burnout in your business. When I first began my coaching practice, I felt like I needed to have my hands in everything because I wanted to know all of what was going on. And honestly, I dealt with a lot of perfectionism. It took a lot for me to be able to release and make some changes, but when I did, it really transformed the trajectory of my business. And this is why I'm so passionate about teaching other women to do the exact same thing. Because let's be honest, we wear multiple hats. We're moms, we're spouses, maybe we work for someone, maybe we're students, as well as we're running a business. And so it can be exhausting to try to balance it all. One thing I will say is when you're beginning a business, it is good for you to know how things run in the back end, but once you have a decent understanding of it, it doesn't hurt to start getting the support that you need and start making shifts that you need as well. In all transparency, I actually hired support before I ever even left my 9-to-5. In fact, that was the best time to do it because I had less time to invest in my business, but I still wanted to scale and grow my business as well. So what we're going to talk about is my favorite strategies that I began to incorporate in order to find more balance inside of my business as well. So my favorite productivity tip that really applies in business and has changed the trajectory of my business is my red, green, and yellow stoplight system. Simply put, if you're looking at your calendar, we all have things on our calendar that really need to be done. And then if we're being honest, we all have things on our calendar that probably have no business being there. So what I use is a red, green, and yellow light stoplight strategy. And with this strategy, I basically break the tasks on my calendar into one of those categories. Red being like, I don't need to be doing these things at all. Yellow being like, I can do these things, but maybe more so in moderation. And green light being like, yes, this is in direct alignment with what it is that I need to accomplish. So I need to be doing that and probably need to be doing more of green light strategies. So you can actually physically pull out your calendar and pull out 3 different highlighters. There's not a red highlighter, so you can pull out a pink one for that one, or you can pull out a red pen and circle it. But this will help you kind of organize, all right? If you don't have a calendar or you don't use a calendar, think back to the last week or two and write out all of the things that you did so that you can identify what needed to be done and what didn't need to be done. So let me give you some examples. So let's say, for example, you're taking your children back and forth to Boy Scouts every single day. Is there somebody that can support you with that? Like maybe your spouse can take them and you can pick them up, or can you carpool with somebody? As it relates to business, a yellow light strategy may be that you hire a VA to send emails for you, right? To respond to emails for you. Maybe every now and again, you need to respond to a specific email because it involves your insight. So that would be a yellow light strategy, something you can really delegate to somebody else, but also something that you can keep on your calendar as needed. A red light strategy is something that you have no business doing ever. So maybe, for example, you hired an advertisement agency to really get your business out there. You don't need to be working on ads if you know that you've already delegated that to somebody else. Or maybe you spend way too much time watching TV. Can that be removed off of your calendar if that has nothing to do with your overall goal? I know like a lot of my relationship coaches will watch a ton of TV on like some of the TV that's around relationships, and they weave that into their business. So maybe that's a yellow light strategy for some because they need to watch it, but they don't need to watch. They need to watch it in moderation. And then green light strategies are things that you need to always be doing, things that you need to do more of maybe. So maybe you find that your live videos convert very well. Well, you can't delegate live videos. So how can you continue to do more of those? Because it's in direct alignment with expanding and growing your brand and your business. Another way to look at this strategy instead of red light, green light, and yellow light, you can also call it delete, delegate, and do. So what are the things on your calendar that you need to totally delete? What are the things that you need to delegate because they need to be done, but maybe it's not in your realm of expertise? And then what are the things that you need to commit to doing more of that your future self will thank you for and that will help to expand your brand? Using this system has really changed my business because it allowed me to free up my time to focus on the important things that I actually needed to commit to. The second step, which really relates to step number 1, is to get support. I think a lot of times as women, it can be difficult to ask for support. We can feel overwhelmed by asking for support. We can feel embarrassed to ask for support. But I found that asking for support can really change everything for you. Here's a little secret. You don't have to do everything yourself. In fact, you shouldn't do everything yourself. And I'll give you a very tangible example. So Pinterest is an amazing platform and a never growing platform. And we think of it a lot like a social media thing, but it's more of like a search engine like Google or Yahoo or things like that. And so as I started to uncover Pinterest, I'm like, man, I really want to dig into Pinterest more and more. I want to be more visible on Pinterest. And so I decided that I wanted to learn Pinterest. So I started taking all of these little courses, and I would go to YouTube University and look up things on Pinterest. But I found that just added yet another task to my to-do list. And it was exhausting because here I was trying to really perfect Facebook, trying to perfect Instagram, trying to perfect email, like just trying to do all the things. So I decided that I wanted to delegate Pinterest to somebody. And since I have been able to delegate Pinterest to someone, I have grown my followers tremendously, and I've grown my impact tremendously and my income as well. And so it's been amazing because here I was trying to figure out everything when I could just really give it to somebody when that's already in their realm of expertise. And that's the same thing in your business. There may be something that you hate doing, absolutely hate doing. I have a client who hates writing emails. And so she brought on a VA to her team. She still works a 9-to-5 as she just began with me. So she brought in a VA to her team, and now she doesn't have to send emails if she doesn't want to. She tells her what she wants to talk about in the email, and the VA takes it away from there. Now that frees up her schedule to do what's in her zone of genius, which is the most freeing feeling in the world. So what is it that you can delegate in your business? Or what is it that you can delegate around your house? Maybe for you, you can delegate your husband's a really, really good cook. Can you delegate him to cook so that you can be, live more often or write blogs more often or whatever it may be? Maybe you need to delegate by hiring a chef or hiring a housekeeper to free up your time to dig more into your business. And I know in the front end, it can be extremely overwhelming to feel like, oh man, I don't have the money to delegate. But when you delegate, you actually free up your time to make money in other ways. So for example, if you know that your money-making activity is Reels, and you delegate someone to make dinner for you, now you have the time that you would have been spending to make dinner to dedicate to making Reels. This really frees up your time to do the money-making activities. So do not be afraid to delegate. In fact, I actually challenge you to consider what it is that you can begin to delegate now. The third tip that I have for you to create more balance in your business is to manage your systems, all right? Every good entrepreneur in successful business has systems in place. And when I say systems, this may look like automations, or this may look like batching, things like that. So for example, when I am batching YouTube videos, or when I'm making YouTube videos, I batch them. So if I'm already gonna put on earrings, I'm already gonna do my bun in my hair, and I'm already gonna put on a shirt, I might as well record quite a few videos. So maybe I need to record a video that's going to go out in the next few weeks. Maybe I'm going to record a video that will go out in the next several months. Maybe I record a video that's going to go in the back end of one of my programs. Whatever it may be, I'm going to batch out the videos because then I only have to kind of do it once. I'm already in my creative zone and I get to get it going. Same thing with content. When I'm writing my blogs or I'm writing up what I want to post on social media, I batch that out. So I may say, all right, this week I'm going to really dive in and focus on human design. So what are 5 different posts that I want to create for human design? Or I'm going to go live on human design. Oh, first I'll talk about sleep as it relates to human design. Then I'll talk about strategy. Then I'll talk about authority. But I'm really breaking it down so that I am already in my creative zone and I can plan it out. So for me, I write out my content posts every single Sunday. I set aside about an hour and I write out exactly what I'm going to post on social media. Same thing with blogs. I'll lay out what it is that I want to do for blogs, and I kind of align the two so I'm not recreating the wheel. Along with that, when I'm recording YouTube videos, I consider how I can take that YouTube video and I can transcribe it to eventually turn it in to some form of a blog. It may not be the exact same words as the YouTube video, but it's somewhat it's in relation to what I recorded my YouTube video on. When I do this, I'm already in my creative zone, and it doesn't help me. I don't have to do that starting process to even start to get creative or start to want to record or start to want to write. I'm already in that zone. And I do this for my podcast. I do this for my YouTube channel, for my blog, and for my content as it relates to online. In addition to like batching, also consider what systems you can have in place. What are some systems that you can really have in place? So for example, can you already have your PayPal links set up so that when someone is wanting to work with you, you're not always sending out an invoice? And don't get me wrong, there may be times where you have to send out a custom invoice, but for the most part, do you already have those buttons or those systems in place for PayPal or Stripe or Payroll or Thrivecart? Maybe for you, it's scheduling, right? Do you have your Acuity or Calendly link set up so that when someone wants to schedule with you, you're not saying, oh, does 2 o'clock on Tuesday work for you? Oh, no. How about 3 o'clock? Oh, what about Wednesday at 9 o'clock? You're not going back and forth. It's saving you time because you already have systems in place, making it streamlined to get the things done that you need to get done. If you don't already have those systems or a batching process in place, how can you begin to create one today? The fourth and final tip that I have for you in order to be able to avoid burnout in your business is to raise your prices and consider group coaching. The truth is, there is only one of you. And if you're always trying to work one-on-one with people, it can be hard to scale and expand your brand. And so instead of trying to feel like, okay, I'm going to work with more people to hit my income goal, what if you worked with less people but raised your prices? Therefore, you're approaching them and coming at them in a better energetic state because you're not rushing. You're not going from back to back to back appointments. You give yourself permission to take breaks, and you can really be available for them in a more expansive way. Also, group coaching works in this same manner as well, because I hate this analogy, but I can't think of a better one. You kill more birds with one stone, right? You are basically able to support more people at a greater scale, but for the same exchange of your time. So let's say, for example, you would work with a client for 1 hour a week. You could work with 10 clients for 1 hour a week, hosting an online, training or hosting an online Q&A. And when you do this, you actually free up your time, but you're still able to be impactful with the people that you're working with. Sadly, in society, we wear busyness like a badge of honor, like it's something that we should rave about, something that people should be so proud of us for, something that we should be bragging and telling the world about. But when we talk about being busy, that's the quickest way to lead to burnout. Now, for me, one thing that I do is I prioritize peace. I prioritize balance because I know for me, I'm at a greater energetic state when I'm able to incorporate more balance and more peace into my life. So what I'm going to challenge you to do today is I'm going to challenge you to review these steps again. Go back through these, and I want you to think about how you can begin to incorporate them into your business so that you can begin to bring in the balance that you both desire and deserve. So use the workbook, the attached workbook, so that you can really walk through the process of what you need to do. Take some time to reflect on what's already happening. Show yourself grace. We're all learning on this journey. But then determine where you need to make shifts and changes in order to create the outcome that you want, which is more balance. Know that I'm holding space, sending love, and know that you totally got this. It's going to be an adjustment. It's going to be a shift. But trust me, when you commit to it, it is so worth it.